So let's look back at your Maidstone United journey, because it was a great one, wasn't it? And it started really, I suppose, a bit in the youth football, but then really came to prominence at under 18 level.
Yeah, so I started under 13s, 14s in like the Kent Youth League, which is sort of the step everyone takes from sort of local football when they're younger, and then worked my way up through that, and then under 18s I trialled for the Ryman League, the Youth Ryman League, which was like a midweek league. So I joined that with Gordon Milne, when we was playing at Sittingbourne at the time. So it wasn't as glamorous as it is now, sort of playing down here.
And how did you find those early years? Was it, did they shape you into the player you would go on and become?
I think so, yeah, because I was actually quite small when I was sort of a teenager. So I was small and quick, whereas obviously as I got older, you sort of adapt your game to when you grow. But sort of first year under 18s, it was not difficult, sort of challenging in terms of you're playing against boys at that age which are a year above, and they're obviously more developed than all like first year under 18s are. So it was a good experience. We had quite a good team actually. I think we won the league that year. So we done well. We played. I think we lost to Eastbourne in the FA Youth Cup. They had James Norwood, who has gone on to play professional at all sorts of different clubs. He scored 5 goals in one game. So that was good. And then the second year we moved on to, it was Tony Burchard and Andy Ryan done it. I know Tony's still involved with the club. So that was good. We got through to the first round of the Youth Cup, FA Youth Cup. We lost to Wickham, I think 5-3. So it was a good game. We gave a good account of ourselves against sort of a pro academy side, and yeah, I think we won the league again that year. So yeah, it was a good experience sort of coming up through the ranks at Maidstone.
And is that what put you on the radar for the first team?
Yeah, so we played Dartford in the FA Youth Cup at Ashford, and Bill was there, Bill Williams, and I played centre midfield. I think I had a good game, and after the game, Bill sort of pulled me in the bar and just sort of said, "Oh, like sort of well played. How long?" Like asking about how long I've been at the club and stuff. And then I got a phone call. I think the next day I went training with Lloyd Hume and Alan Walker down in Ashford at just some school. And from then on, I sort of trained every week, and I made my debut in a midweek Ryman Cup away to Romford at Averley's ground. So not the most glamorous of debuts, and it's not sort of when you're younger, you sort of expect to play at like the big nice grounds. So obviously when I was that age, Dartford had just got their ground, and as a youngster you play on the 3G outside and you see the stadium and you think, oh, that's sort of what to expect. And then when it comes to it, you play at grounds and that is what non-league's about, sort of them sort of grounds, Averley's, and I remember playing at Tilbury in a youth game and stuff like that, which sort of playing at places that I think what makes you a better player, playing in difficult conditions.
You then have a brief spell out of the club, but then it's Jay Saunders that really brings you back into the fold, isn't it? And then things really take off from there.
Yeah, so I went on loan to Tunbridge Wells when I was 17. That was a good learning experience, playing sort of against big, physical, strong men that aren't afraid to just kick lumps out of people. I spent sort of 7-8 games on the bench, just coming on as a sub. Started one game, scored a hat-trick, and then we played Dulwich in the FA Cup, and Murray Cartcree was he came to watch because he'd just come in under Andy Ford, and he asked why I wasn't at Maidstone, and I just sort of explained to him the reasons. And the next day, Andy Ford phoned me and just said, like, we want you back. So I came back to the club. I think my first game back was Croydon away, and I think we might have won 2-1 that game. And from then on, I got put on a contract, and then the rest is sort of as it was.
So again, you one of those players that wrote your name in history in being one of the first people to play on this pitch in that game against Brighton. What are your memories of that day?
We got absolutely annihilated, to be honest. I mean, Ashley Barnes, it's one of them games that you'll always remember just 'cause some of the players that you played against. Sort of Ashley Barnes come on as sub second half. I think he got a hat-trick in about 10 minutes. And then at the time you had players like Liam Bridcut, who was one of the next best things. Loire played, and then in goal you had like Thomas Kuszak, who was, I think he just signed from Man United. So you're playing against players that are a complete different level. But it was great to sort of be down there. I remember the weather wasn't great. That was one thing I do remember. But yeah, I mean it was a sellout obviously, and as obviously a lad from Maidstone, it's good to sort of experience the club coming back from, because obviously we played at Ashford, then Sittingbourne, and then coming back here. It was nice. It was good to see everyone back in Maidstone.
I think it's a day that will live for everyone that was here. I think that day will live long in the memory, won't it? Yeah. So highlights of your time here. I mean, everyone's obviously going to mention the Stevenage game. I'm sure you probably would yourself. But tell us about Stevenage, but also any others that really stood out for you.
Yeah, so Stevenage, I think Stevenage is the one game that everyone sort of instantly goes to. But I think obviously the first year we won the Ryman South, which was obviously again that was with Dulwich, who were, I think we sort of followed each other up through the pyramid. So I think they won the league, and then we obviously beat Faversham in the playoff final, which was a good day because again it was nice to bring sort of success back to Maidstone. There was a massive crowd again, and from then on I think Jay done really well in just bringing in players for every year, just bringing in better players, even if it was 2 or 3 sort of additions. It just every year our team just got stronger and stronger and stronger, and yeah, we obviously then in the Ryman Premier, I think the first year we just missed out on playoffs, and then obviously the year after was the year where sort of everything sort of progressed rapidly. So we obviously done really well in the FA Cup, played Stevenage, beat them, and then obviously going to somewhere like Wrexham, which we was unlucky to lose. They was obviously 2 or 3 leagues above us at the time, so it was a good game. And then obviously that was after that I got injured, but obviously we went on and won the league that year. And yeah, and then obviously the Conference South was a different experience, being no one I think fancied Maidstone to be anywhere near the top of the league. But as I said, Jay just brings in better players every year. It strengthens the squad and the team, and yeah, the club's always had a great team spirit. So I think that's one thing that Jay used to thrive on, which when you've got a good team spirit, you'll always fight for each other. And at this club, that's what we always used to do. And sort of even in the playoff final, I don't think we ever gave up. I mean, we was unlucky. There was 2 penalties, which some would say were dubious. I mean, I think one was nailed on handball, but the other one was dubious. And then I don't think we gave up hope, which is something Jay used to instill in us sort of from the beginning, which you're never out of the game until it's over. And there was a couple of, I think if I remember rightly, there was I think Dan Sweeney might have been, had an absolute air shot, and it bobbled. I think it bobbled in front of him and behind him, and it fell to Didi, and Didi tucked it home. And I think from that point, that late in the game, when you're sort of on the high of the game, I think we obviously had a great chance in penalties. And when you've got Lee Morgan in goal, who throughout my time playing with him has saved numerous amounts of penalties and made some unbelievable saves that you don't understand how he does it. But yeah, and obviously that was that. He obviously was brave enough to stand still in it, which you don't see many goalkeepers do, stand still in a penalty shootout, and he managed to get his hand to it, and that was that. And then obviously we went on up to the National League, and again that was an even bigger learning curve, I think, for everyone in the team and at the club, playing against clubs like Tranmere that are paying obviously a lot more money than what Maidstone were, because we was part-time, so we was going to work, coming training, whereas obviously full-time training every day. The fitness is different, the level of the speed of the game was a lot different, which I think took us a little bit of getting used to. But yeah, so from the beginning to the end, it was obviously a big learning curve over, I think, the 9.5, 10 years that I was here. So from the start, playing at Aveley, I think my last game was against Tranmere. So from the beginning to the end, it's not a bad rise up the football leagues.